Alright guys, um, here with another video. Um, Today I want to look at my daily driver. I suspect the wheel bearing is gone on one side, it's making an awful whining noise on the one side. Um, Now I can pinpoint where the whining noise is coming from, but I have a wheel bearing there, so I'm going to replace it. Um, I have now, normally I replace the whole hub as a one unit, but I couldn't get one, so I just got the actual bearing itself. So I've never done this before, so I'll be doing it as a beginner's guide, I suppose, showing you guys what I learned and how I did it. I have very basic tools, so if you want to tackle this yourself, you should be able to do that, no problem. So yeah, it's my Forester. I have it jacked up. I think it's this wheel. Now, when I was normally they'd be playing the wheel, you can feel the wheel back and forth, but there's only a whining noise, and the whining noise is like vibrating the whole like back corner of this car. Um, so as I said, I'm just going to replace it. Hopefully the wheel bearing is gone. If it's not gone, then at least I have a new wheel bearing in the car, I suppose. So yeah, I'll sit you guys down. I'll put jack stands underneath the car to work safe. And once jack stands underneath the car, I'll take the wheel off and I will have a look further to see if there's any more issues. Alright guys, so I've taken it off. Now the handbrake is off, so that's why I'm getting a bit of wobble in the wheel. Um, I not seem to be getting any wobble in the actual hub though, but it could be because the drive shaft is in. So what I'm going to do is I want to take this hub off. It'll just be just as easy. So it's basically your caliper comes off with your two bolts here at the back. Well, your two bolts here, and then your carrier comes off. Then your caliper comes off. Then take your carrier off. You have two bolts at the back here, one here, one down here. Then your carrier comes off. Put that to one side. Then you have your two 19mm bolts here. You have a 17mm bolt under here, right there. And then you have what I like to call the cunt bolt right here. Because what happens with this bolt right here, is it welds itself, it rusts away and welds itself there. Now, I took precautions to this, and I put lots of penetrate fluid on it to prepare for this job. So just be aware of that if you are doing this job. Get a new one of them. If you can't get a new one of them, put lots of penetrate fluid on it. You will have trouble getting this bolt out. You just will. It just is. Any Subaru mechanic, any mechanic that works on a Subaru will tell you this bolt is the worst bolt in the whole car to get off. It always is notorious for rusting, seizing. So just get a new one if you can. Cut it here or cut it inside there, and same on the other side. And then this will fall off, and then use a punch to punch everything out, and put your new bolt in when you're ready to assemble again. It's the easiest way. So I'm going to set you guys down again, put you guys in the time lapse, and I'm going to take all this off. And when I take all this off, we're going to have a better look at the bearing, the hub bearing. Alright guys, just making this quick little video. Here is your brake shoe. Now I always forget how to put this back together, so if you guys want to grab a screen grab just to have a reference of the way this all goes together, because I will need it at the end of this video anyway, so might as well do it for you guys as well to show you how everything is installed, and then hopefully it'll help you when you're putting it all back together, because this is a nightmare to put back on. But yeah, so hopefully that'll help you put everything back on so you remember where everything goes. Okay, so as you can see, um, this has been an absolute pain. I can't get my drive shaft out. So what I've done is I put penetrating fluid in here to soak the penetrating fluid, hopefully into where the shaft is. I'm fairly confident this is my problem with my wheel bearing. The wheel bearing has probably got hot and seized the shaft of the axle inside. So just gonna keep working getting this out. When I have this out, I'll update you guys on getting the actual hub, this hub part off from this piece, and then we'll press in a new bearing. So yeah. Alright guys. So I got it out. And yeah, that's definitely the wheel bearing that's gone. I got it out, but I ended up damaging the end here, which is a bit sad. And as you can see, I mushroomed the end here as well. Now you can fix this. What you can do is you can cut it off, and you can just, or you can grind it down again. But luckily enough, I have a spare axle and I have a spare hub there and there. So I'm just going to hammer this out, and then see can I replace the bearing. And once we have the bearing replaced, press that hub there in. I'll get this done. I'll set you guys down at a time lapse again. I ended up breaking all the ABS ring and everything, so luckily I have the spare one there. What I did was I got a spacer, and I got a piece of plate behind the spacer, and I actually bolted the spacer on with a piece of plate behind it, and I tightened it all the way down, and actually broke the end here loose. Now if you look at that, that's all munted. You can see that hasn't been off, or that's been welded on, like it's all rusted on and everything. So you can reuse this if you really wanted to, but I'll just get a new end. I'll get this off now, and I'll update you guys when I have that done. Okay, so guys, what I've done is I got my two axle stands, and I've put it on the hub, so the hub is stable. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a socket, try and use an impact socket for this, into the shaft there. I'm going to hammer the shaft out. The hub, I suppose, out. And then when the hub comes out, then we'll be able to show you the circlip, and then we take the circlip out and we hammer the bearing out. But first step first, get your axle stands, get your impact socket, hammer that out. Make sure it's free spinning as well, so when you hammer it, you're not going to get caught on your axle stands. I'm going to place you guys down now. I'm going to get going on this. Wish me luck, and I'll update you guys when I have it out. Alright guys, so I got it out. So this is my spare one, but as you can see, it still has the bearing race attached to it, which I don't like. This is the one I've just taken out. It came out nice and cleanly, but it has the broken ABS ring and the broken studs. So what I might do is I might take the ABS ring off this and put it on this. I might take these studs off as well, because they're really good condition studs, and press them on here and use these studs on this, because this one will be easier to press in, and it'll save me fighting trying to get this off. So I'll do that. The next course of action with this is to get this out, and in behind this is a circlip. So we're going to do that now, and then once I have that done, I'll update you guys, and we'll try and get this bearing out from this housing. Alright guys, so as you can see, there is that seal out. Now I didn't mind damaging it because my the new wheel bearing comes with one, but there is the circlip is all about. So what you do is you prop that up. So I can't do it really one-handed, but you kind of pop this up like this. You use two screwdrivers. So see, once you have that popped up, then you kind of put your screwdriver in this side. But you get the gist. So I'm going to take this off. I'm going to press this bearing out from the back up out through here. Same as what we did before on the axle stands, and then press it down. Alright guys, so I got it out. So what I ended up doing was I actually found this piece of metal here out of an old caliper that I had. Sorry, my dog's just going a bit crazy here. Okay, go. Out of a caliper that I had. And it was luckily the perfect size to fit this the outer bearing, and I just put her in there, put her on the axle stance I did when I hammered out the center, and I just hammered her out. So yeah, now just hammer the other one in and put it all back together. So awesome. Also, that was a flipping nightmare to do, but we got her out. As I said, I don't have the right tools for this. I'm a backyard mechanic. I'm not even a mechanic. But I got her out. So yeah, clean all this up. You can see there's a lot of dirt in there and a lot of grit, but I think this was my problem, because when I refer to the I have it here. Where is it? I did have it here. There it is there. If I refer to here, if you can actually see the pitting on the end of this. So yeah, I think that might have been my problem. So yeah, get the new one in. Once the new one is in, put it all back together. Awesome. So guys, it's a new day. I ran out of light last night. It wasn't that it was overly hard what I was doing, it just ran out of light. So I'll show you here what I've done. Quickly give you a brief explanation. I just got it to the point of where you seen it last, where I was hammering the bearing in, and I pushed in the actual spindle. I actually hammered the spindle in as well, and what I did was I used the drive shaft. I put the drive shaft in, I hammered the spindle in 90% of the way, nice and easy, very very gently, making sure it was going in. I would hammer the spindle side, and then I'd hammer the bearing side, handle the spindle side, just to make sure the bearings were seating all nicely. And then after I had that done, I used the drive shaft, and I actually put the drive shaft in, and I tightened the drive shaft up using the drive shaft to sandwich all together nice and tight. I'll just turn the camera around here and I'll show you what I've done. Alright guys, so as you can see here is I have the drive shaft and the spindle and all in the hub. It's a bit tight now at the minute because obviously it's all tightened down and it's a new bearings and everything. But what I did was I turned this whole hub upside down, laid it flat, I put the spindle in, and I hammered the spindle here on the outer reese here with a big socket, and I hammered it in once it got to about 90% of the way. Once I knew that it was 90% of the way and I can get my drive shaft in, I put my drive shaft in from this side. Put my drive shaft in with my nut, made sure everything was still aligned, made sure all the bearings, so the bearings are, the bearings can move, so made sure it was all aligned, put my axle in, put my nut on, and tightened all together, and it all just sandwiched up. Then I have this here like this. I'll just loosen it for you guys quickly. And as you can see, works nice and tight. So now I'm going to set you guys down on where you guys were again, put you guys on a quick time lapse, put it all back in the car. Once I've all back in the car, we'll see does it work. Alright guys, so I actually ran out of storage on that time lapse, but I have everything back together. So I'll show you what I've done. Okay, so I've put my caliper and everything back on. If you want a bit of a recap on what you can do, so first you want to remove your caliper. After you have your caliper removed, you want to remove your hub or your disc brake. Once you have your disc brake removed, you can remove your brake shoes in here. I've shown how to do that. Then you want to remove your cable. Then, as well as that, you have an ABS sensor back here, right down there. Normally that bolt is rounded, so what you want to do is you can unbolt it. There's a bolt here and there's a bolt on the side. Once you have that bolt undone, your cable just hangs. Your cable actually comes through. You take off your back seat. It's only 2 bolts here and there. Once your back seat is undone, you can there's the cable that comes through. You disconnect that cable there and you push that all the way through. You push that through, and then once you have that pushed through, you have this side complete. And then what you want to do is you want to disconnect your 2 19mm bolts here, and you have a 17mm bolt all the way down here. Once that 17mm bolt is done, then you're onto your cunt bolt. Before you start the job, buy a new bolt. It's a big long bolt that goes all the way through. As you can see here, it goes all the way through. Usually it seizes. It usually rusts to the actual hub. So once you have that, once you have a new one of them, what you can do is if that one isn't cooperating, you can actually cut it off and just cut off either side, and then use a chisel to press them both out so you can have a clear path again. Once you have your hub off, follow the procedures what I followed throughout the video. You want to get something that is the right size as the center bearing. You want to knock out your 2 middle bearings. If your wheel bearing is gone, it'll probably be in bits anyway. Once it falls out, then you hammer out the actual bearing. Once you have the bearing, hammer it out. You install your new bearing. Once you have your new bearing pressed in, you can use your axle to actually drive home the new bearing, to sandwich it all to where it should be. Once you have all there, that should be okay. Now it's a bit tight at the moment because obviously it's a brand new bearing. It's going to have tighter tolerances. So once it takes for a test drive, hopefully she'll loosen up and she'll get going again. But that is what I've done for now. I'm going to get the wheel back on, and I'm going to take it for a drive. So yeah, guys, that's how I put in a wheel bearing into my Forester. Now, I'm no mechanic. I'm not qualified mechanic. I just do this as a hobby. I like to learn and I like to fix things myself. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. It really is like anybody can do it. As long as you have the patience to do it and the time to do it, then you should be okay. Like as I said, I started this job yesterday at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening. I only spent 2 hours at it, and then I spent another hour at it. It took me 3 hours to do this job. Any comparable mechanic will charge you the full day to do this job, and they'll charge you at least 300-400 euros to do it as well. So it saves me a bit of money doing it myself. And anything that you think I've left out or anything that you want me to answer, shoot me a comment and I'll be back to get to you. I make these videos to try and help people out. So yeah, there'll be more to come. The next thing we have to do is you have to remove the engine from my Subaru's typical Subaru thing. I blew the head gasket on my Impreza. Actually blew my first engine, cracked the piston, and then blew the engine in the spare engine that went in. So that has to come out and has to be repaired. So subscribe and follow that, because I'll be doing head gaskets for the first time myself as well. I've done a lot of things for Subarus myself, but head gasket is not one of them. So I'll be doing that myself, and then after that I'll be trying to build my own engine. So it'll either be a big fail or it won't be. We'll see. Again, if I can do it, anybody can do it. So yeah, hit subscribe and hit comment to see what you want to see, and tell me if I've missed anything, and yeah, or how I can improve. So thanks.